guys, and welcome to another video. Today I'm going to be doing a sewing tips video, and I will be showing you how to sew on a button. Now this is how I was taught when I was in high school, and I really like this way of doing it. So it keeps my buttons very secure, so I really like this method. So I'm just going to use my scrap fabric, and then of course these are two different types of buttons. You either have the 4-hole or the 2-hole. So I'm just going to do the 4-hole just because that one's a little bit more complicated than the 2-hole. The 2-hole, obviously you would just go back and forth like in a circle. But for the 4, first we're going to take our thread. I double threaded my needle, and then I tied a nice big knot on the back of it. The knot isn't as important because usually it's hidden behind, and you want a nice good knot just so that your thread doesn't unravel. So then I'm just going to put my button up against my fabric, and I'm going to take my needle and I'm going to put it through the fabric. And then, so if you have a certain spot that you want it to be, you can put your needle through first, just so you know that's exactly where I want my button to be. And then you can place your button on after. And then we will go in an X formation. So at first, you can go like this, and then find that center point again. And then you'll go back up and you'll go into this hole, and you can look again. It doesn't matter if it's not super tight at first. You don't want it to be super tight actually. And then we'll go directly across, and then we will do the exact same thing, going through that first hole we went in and across, then into the other hole, and then directly across. So depending on the garment that you're putting the button on, if it's going to have a little bit more wear and tear, such as maybe a coat where it would be buttoned up often, you can of course put more loops of thread through the button. But if it is just on a shirt or a decorative, then you wouldn't need as much thread going through the button because it's less likely to fall off. So after I'm done this, then I'm going to take my needle and I'm going to stick it through the fabric, but I'm not going to stick it through the button. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to create a shank, and what that does is it creates a little space between the fabric and the button, so that when you go to button up the button, that's a lot of buttons, it will have some space between. And if it's really tight, then that could possibly push the fabric back off the button, and then the button will constantly just kind of undo itself as it's being worn. So you brought your thread through, and then you're going to take it and you're going to wrap it around a bunch of times. And then that's going to make a space in between the button and the fabric. And then you're going to take your needle and you're going to go into the center of the fabric again, pull it through, and then on the back we are going to pick up a small amount of fabric or the thread, pull it through, and then before you pull it through all the way, we're just going to go through that thread and then kind of make a knot. And then do that 1 or 2 more times, depending on how confident you feel with your knotting abilities. And then I'm just going to cut all this off. and then that's it. So that's how I do my regular buttons. So I hope you enjoyed this little sewing tips video. I will be doing a video on how to do shank buttons, so I will leave that link down below. So I hope you enjoyed this video. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. All my social media links are down below, as well as my new blog, which is charmbyashley.com. So I hope you check that out. And I also do purchased patterns for different items, so you can also find those over at my blog, and those things help support my channel. So thanks so much for watching, and I'll see you guys in my next video. Bye guys!